Whatever path you were on, whatever inspired you to come here today, we honor you and we welcome you. And now, our message.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for sharing that, Lyle. Yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit about that. How our thoughts create our reality. What was going on in Lyle's mind? I'm Reverend Allie Benjamin. I'm the spiritual director here at the Sati Center. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. And if you're back again, welcome back. The theme for this month is wholeness. And for the last two Sundays, we had some special guests. So I just want to acknowledge those two people. Reverend Felicia Searcy, my personal coach, and one of my mentors came and gave a talk, and I was so thrilled to have her, and I was so pleased that you all welcomed her and made her feel so welcome. So I trust that you enjoyed her as much as I did. And then last week we had Reverend Dr. Janine Dietrich, and she came and she shared the 7 statements, the metaphysical interpretation of the 7 statements that Jesus made on the cross, and that was very enlightening, was it not? Yeah. So I just want to acknowledge those people and thank them for being here, and to thank you for welcoming them. We like to offer a diverse selection of teachings here. So if there is something that you would like us to focus on or research, Reverend Lyle and I would love to dive into new areas to bring you what it is that you would like to explore as a spiritual community. A couple of announcements I want to make personally. I'd love to invite you to join me for the next class of Practical Spirituality. That will be starting in May. So if you've been thinking about joining a class or diving more deeply into the science of mind and metaphysics, then come see me afterwards, and I'd love to tell you about Inner Quest. It's a deep dive into meditation and prayer. So come see me about that. Also, some of you have said that you would like to find out more about what we do here, who organizes and who's the board of directors and how do I get involved. A lot of you have come to me with questions and sent emails to me. So we've decided to hold an orientation, an open house on Friday the 24th. So please, if you join in, even if you've been around for some time and you still would like to connect in community, come and have a discussion. And then I'm very excited to invite all of you to come to our visioning. Some of you came to the visioning that my coach Felicia did, and we're going to continue. We have a vision here for this center, for us, for our own building, for outreach ministries. We have a bigger vision of what it is we want to facilitate here at the top of Utah. So if you're interested in bringing more spiritual awareness to this community, come and join us for the visioning on April the 25th. It's a Saturday from 10 till 1. Come and join in, and I encourage all of you to come. It's going to be an amazing thing. If you want to actually see how to join in the co-creative process and how to activate a vision, a dream, a desire within you, and then pour it out and it become a realization, then join us for that. Okay, that's my infomercial. So I want to talk today about this concept of wholeness. Wholeness. Oneness. It's said that there's only one thing going on. There's only one happening. And it's happening right now. And if you're still enough, if you become present enough in this moment, and you allow your mind to just settle on this moment, you might be able to feel it. This one happening, this one thing, this one life that is rich with possibility, that is rich with potentiality. Can you feel that? Can you feel it? That's what I'm talking about. There's a sense of peace and wholeness and connection to this one happening that you can actually feel and participate in a conscious way when you're mindful, when you're paying attention, and when you're focused in the here and now. This is the simple message that we share every week here. There's one thing happening, and you're it. We're all it. We're in this thing together. So if that's true, then why doesn't it feel that way? It might feel that way when you're meditating or when you're praying or when you're coming together in a spiritual community. But then you go back out into the world and it doesn't quite feel so lovely. It doesn't quite feel so harmonious. So I'd like to share with you some thoughts today so that you can, whilst you're out in the midst of life and in the midst of everything that's going on outside of you, be the presence in the center of peace and wholeness in your life. Does that sound good?
Yes.
So in researching for my talk, I was listening and reading some of David Bohm's writings. He was an American scientist who was described as one of the most significant theoretical physicists of the 20th century. That's a tongue twister. He wrote a book called Wholeness and Implicate Order. Wholeness and Implicate Order. And he says, I would say that in my scientific and philosophical work, my main concern has been with understanding the nature of reality in general, and of consciousness in particular, as a coherent whole, which is never static or complete, but which is an unending process of movement and unfoldment. This is what I'm talking about, the one thing that's happening, that we're all a part of. There's something that connects all of us. The physical, the invisible, the mind, the intelligence, and the spirit, that spark, that longing to express and create. He goes on to say, the notion of separate organisms is clearly an abstraction, as is also its boundary. Underlying all this unbroken wholeness, even though our civilization has developed in such a way as to strongly emphasize the separation into parts. I know that's a little confusing. So what is it that we've done? Why do we feel so separate from each other? Why do we not feel so connected to everything? I believe it's because we've been conditioned, taught, and trained to believe that we're somehow separate, alone, scared little individuals. In our culture, we're not really taught that there's only one thing going on. It's this thing called life. There's only one nature and you're a part of it. We're taught that there's everything out there and then there's us that's somehow in control of everything out there. Well, that's not really how it works. Wholeness says that there's only one thing going on, and we can access that one thing going on and work in a natural, harmonious way with it when we see ourselves as part of this oneness, part of this wholeness. When we learn to communicate, just as every other natural thing does in the universe, we learn how to communicate with it and work with it so that we can enjoy more ease and flow and beauty and prosperity and passion and love? Isn't that what all of us want? To experience more flow and ease and grace and loving kindness and meaning in our lives? To feel like we're part of a big family, a big human family that actually nurtures and supports each other? It's in our conditioning that we've been taught that there's us and them, and there's this skin color and that skin color, and this boundary and this continent, and all of that. That's just something that we've made up. Well, not us. But it's something that we continue to believe, isn't it? To some degree, we separate things, we compartmentalize things and put them in their place. Well, at the end of my talk, we'll do a little meditation where we'll let go of that for a moment. And we'll have a greater experience of oneness. And I ask you to experiment with this concept this week. To actually drop the idea of separation and see life as it presents itself before you as part of you. As part of you. So I believe it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up from this fog, this idea that there's separate people, separate races, separate things going on, that somehow we're not a part of the plants and the rocks and the trees and the whole cosmos, that we're actually part of everything, to wake up. But there's that mind that we have, that mind inside us that argues with some of these ideas, that has opinions and preferences and likes and dislikes and judgments and criticism. Well, it's that nonsense that causes separation. So what can we do as spiritual beings? As spiritual beings having a human experience, what can we do to experience a greater sense of wholeness? We can catch ourselves when the mind, the ego mind, starts doing that thing, categorizing, judging, doubting, fearing. I call it living conditionally. We place a lot of conditions on life. I won't be happy until this happens. That's conditional living. For 1 week or for one lifetime. Practice living unconditionally. Practice questioning your thoughts. Some of you that have taken classes with me and worked with me, you'll know that this is across the board. I ask everyone, is that true? When they share some thought with me. Oh, I'm too old. I don't have enough money. I don't have what it takes. Is that true? Is it true? Sometimes people, what I find is that people don't know that they can actually choose their thoughts. You can choose your thoughts. What a concept. You can choose your thoughts. You can choose to think more positive, life-affirming thoughts. Because we do live in a reciprocal universe. We live in this amazing reality that always mirrors back to us what we're thinking. So when Lyle stands up here and says, well, I've got this thing going on, and he quickly identifies that it's probably due to his worry and his concern and his feeling overwhelmed. Whilst that is a reality, we can also not get carried away with the thoughts of it. We can stop and question it. I'm overwhelmed. There's too much going on. What's going to happen? Is that true? There's too much going on? Take a minute to think about that. Is there too much going on? front of the room talking. Sometimes we just get carried away with believing our thoughts. And I think that's maybe what you were doing, Lyle. So on this evolutionary process of waking up, it's good to be compassionate with yourself, gentle with yourself. Because some of these laws, they kind of sting a bit, right? There's a little sting to that. But it's not supposed to be a sting or difficult, or you're supposed to hide the fact that you've got a cough because, what were you thinking? To be gentle. Gentle with yourself and simply watch what you're thinking. I'm going to embarrass him even more. When he mentioned to me this morning that he had a bit of a cough going on and he was feeling much better today than he was a couple of days ago, I said, why didn't I hear from you? Why didn't you outreach to me? Because I would love to do prayer treatment with you. He didn't think of that. Sometimes we have the tools. We know what to do and we don't do it. Why do we do that? There is love and support for you, always. We don't have to shoulder things by ourselves. We don't have to carry burdens. We can simply ask ourselves, is it true? And how can I support myself through this head cold, through this divorce, through this loss of a job, whatever it is? Outreach to someone that you know that can help you, remind you of your wholeness, of your ability to tap into the infinite. Each of us can do that, and we access that through our mind. We access that through our mind. Checking the time. So it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up to our authentic self. Our authentic self is that part of us that is complete, whole, and perfect. That is complete, whole, and perfect. That is not concerned with the color of someone's skin, or if you have a job, or how much money you have in the bank, or if you, whatever. There's a part of you that is complete and whole and perfect in the imperfection. Who taught us that we have to be perfect anyway? Who taught us that? That there is such thing as perfect. What is perfect? Does it exist? Isn't this perfect? Isn't everything as it is perfect? When we become settled with that idea, that everything is perfect, there's nothing wrong, this is it, this is how it feels as everything is coming together, then we're in our wholeness. And there's a sense of peace there, even in the midst of chaos. So I want to share a reading from the Science of Mind. And this is on page 233. If one would take time, once a day at least, to let go of all that is not true and lay hold of reality, that's reality with a capital R. Let go of doubt, distrust, worry, condemnation, and fear, and lay hold of life in its expression of beauty, truth, and wholeness. His mental congestion, Lyle, would be healed. See, there's only one mind. There's only one mind. Keep the mind and body open to the reception of truth. It is the static, fixed, inflexible outlook which produces a tendency on the part of the body and its muscles and functions to become tense and underactive. Hold steadfastly to the thought that all of life is in a state of eternal flow. Relax your thought and allow the free flow of the life essence in and through you, and your body will respond to its healing activity. Inaction will quickly disappear into its native nothingness, in the rhythm and harmony of all your bodily functions. There is a natural ease and flow. There is a natural wholeness that is happening. Make yourself available to it. Don't hold on rigidly to thoughts and ideas. Be easier with what is. Live in harmony with the natural flow and order and wholeness that is right here. Beyond all of your opinions and thoughts, life is perfect, whole, and complete right now. So let's do a little guided imagery together. If you will, close your eyes. One of my teachers, Adi Ashanti, says, stop chasing peace and stop chasing love, and your heart becomes full. Stop trying to be a better person, and you are a better person. Stop trying to forgive, and forgiveness happens. Stop and be still. Taking a breath. Is there anything really missing? Is love absent right now? Is peace absent from this room? Wholeness is when you are fully integrated, in congruence with who you really are. And when that happens, you enter into that place of peace that passes all understanding. You transcend your old paradigm and you open up to health, to love, to ease and flow. And you become grounded in the center of your own being, focused on yourself. You are the center of your world. You are the way that peace shows up in your world, the way that love shows up. Be steady in your wholeness. The universe is a wholeness in which God, as love, works continuously to manifest form, that this creative process takes place in a provable, reproducible manner, and that we can consciously allow it to bring change into our lives. Wholeness is our natural state of being. Wholeness is the concept that we contain all potentials. The answer to every question is within you, because you are in spirit. And spirit is an indivisible whole. You are constantly unfolding. And there are levels to you that your current paradigm cannot even fathom. Open up to that new paradigm where you remember your wholeness, where you remember that love is present always. You're perfect, whole, and complete, but you're not finished. You're unfolding. You're unfolding with a purpose. A unique pattern is within you. This pattern is seeking to emerge through you. Tap into that sense of unique and perfect wholeness. And tap into your passion to bring love forth through all that you do, through all that you think, and through all that you say. Love is happening right now. It is always happening through you when you allow it. This is why you came forth. To be the hands of spirit serving. The mind of spirit knowing. And the heart of spirit loving. You are perfect. You are whole. And you are complete. But you're not finished. There is much love for you to express. And there is much love for you to receive. Place your hands on your heart. And say yes to yourself. Just feel that inner yes. Yes to love. Yes to receiving love. Yes to being love. Yes to letting go of loving conditionally. And fully committing to loving unconditionally. And in that, saying yes to your wholeness. Taking a breath. Exhaling love. And so it is. Namaste.
Thank you for blessing us with your presence today and being a part of the Satya Center. You're invited to join Reverend Ali and Reverend Lyle each Sunday morning at 10 a.m. for your dose of connection, inspiration, and co-creation. The Satya Center is located at 795 24th Street, Ogden, Utah. For directions, a map, and our service times, please see our website, thesatyacenter.org. This program was brought to you by the kind donations from the members of the Satya Center. Thank you.